Let's talk about how to find the angle of this particular triangle using the sine function. Let's just quickly review what we're talking about. We're talking about basic right angle trigonometry. Okay, so the kind of triangles that we're going to be solving involve a right angle. Okay, 90 degrees. None of this is going to apply to angles that are like this, obtuse or acute. Now, there are trigonometric formulas, and there's some more advanced things in trigonometry that we can work with other type of triangles. But what we're going to be talking about is specifically is right triangles. Okay, so we're going to be talking about obviously the sine. Okay, but we have the cosine and the tangent, and they just kind of all together go all together as a group. We're talking about trigonometric functions here, trigonometric ratios. So here is our angle right here, the one that we're going to be solving for, and we need to kind of assign some basically descriptions to the particular lengths of this right triangle. Okay, let's go ahead and deal with the easiest one first. The longest side of a right triangle, it's always opposite of the right angle here in the corner, and you can kind of see it visually, right? This is, it's not the perfect right triangle, but you get the idea. This longest side is always what we call H. Okay, that's the hypotenuse. All right. Now, this angle here, all right, I'm looking at this leg of the triangle. Okay, it's opposite of this angle. Okay, so we're going to call this O, and then the leg right here that's next to the angle is adjacent to the angle. We're actually going to call it A, okay, which would be the adjacent side. Okay, now we got this little phrase that we learn when you're studying trigonometry. It's called SOHCAHTOA. Okay, now, of course, if you're watching my other videos on tangent and cosine, I keep repeating this. Just drill this into your memory. SOHCAHTOA, you can't go wrong with this little mnemonic here. Okay, but what we're talking about is sine. Okay, so you're like, oh, sine. Now, if you look here, we have all these deal with O, H, and A. Right, you have an O and H, an A and H, and an O and an A. So for sine, okay, I have O and H. So that means the sine of an angle is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Okay, or yeah, so O over H, opposite over the hypotenuse. So that's what these basic trigonometric functions are. They're just ratios of sides of a right triangle. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we're going to use these, but the sine of this angle here, okay, specifically is going to be this side divided by this side. All right, and now with that being explained, let's go ahead and solve this problem using the sine function. Okay, so here it is. We know now basically if you're going to spell out the word sine, it's S-I-N-E, not sin. All right, so sine, that's how we spell it, but its abbreviation is actually like so. Okay. All right, so we talked about how the sine is going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse. And here it is, right here, O over H. So now I just need to look at the given information I have in my little triangle here, right? So here's my angle. This is my opposite side, and this is my hypotenuse side. So I'm going to divide. I'm going to create this fraction, O over H. So it's going to be 3 over 5. That's it, okay? Well, not quite, but now we have this set up so we can solve this. So we take 3 divided by 5, and we get this nice decimal 0.6. All right, now at this point, here's where we need the assistance of a calculator or a textbook. Okay, now a textbook, back in the good old days, when I was going to school decades and decades ago, you would have these like old school trig books. They were the best. Anyways, I'm not so old that we didn't have calculators, but a lot of the textbooks have, well, in the back of the textbooks had tables that you would look up to find information. Now, what's the information we're looking for? Well, I want to know the angle. Okay, it's kind of like a mystery puzzle here. I want to say, hey, what angle has a sine of 0.6? And you could just look up on the table. You just go through and you would search all this decimals and everything else, and you would be able to look up, and it would tell you the angle in degrees, more or less. Okay, it would say, oh, this angle has a sine of 0.6. So it's a huge, huge. It was several pages of tables, but that's kind of cumbersome kind of way of doing things. So we have on our calculator, if your calculator has these buttons, sine, cosine, and tangent. Now, if you have your cell phone, you should be able to shift to a scientific mode. But if you don't have a scientific calculator, you should pick one up at CVS, Walmart, whatever. You can get a scientific calculator with these functions for like 10, 15 bucks. So, I mean, they're pretty cheap. A graphing calculator is a different story. They cost more. Now, on this button, the sine button, we need to use that second function, okay? Because we don't need the sine button. We need the one that looks like this, sine with a little -1 on it, okay? So that function, this is what we call arcsine, is basically going to tell us, hey, listen, what is the angle that has a sine of 0.6, right? This is the situation of my triangle. I'm like, hey, listen, what angle has a sine of 0.6 or 3/5? So we're going to go into our calculator, we're going to hit the second function, and we'll find that sine button, and we'll get this guy, okay? You'll see it pop up on the calculator, and we'll plug in 0.6, and when we hit enter, we're going to get approximately 36.86 degrees. And always remember, when you're messing around with trigonometry, you got to make sure that your calculator is in degree mode, okay, if you're working with degrees. And right now, when you're being introduced to trigonometry, you want to work in degrees because there's other ways to measure angles, all right? One other way is called radians or rads, and those involve pi, etc. So, but that's a little bit for more advanced trigonometry. But here's the thing, if your calculator is not in the right mode, you're going to get a number and it's not going to be right. And I can tell you right now, over the decades of teaching, I feel so sad for students who were like, they did everything perfect. But guess what? They had their calculator not in degree modes. They had it in radians. They didn't realize it, and then they gave me some wrong answer. And then they went like this, and then it was just like, a bunch of tears. And yeah, sometimes I had mercy on them, and I'd only take a couple points off. But anyways, little things that you should be introduced to if you're messing around with trigonometry now. Okay, so whatever calculator you get, you need to get to know it. And if you're going to be taking anything, literally, if you're going to be taking like a full trigonometry, maybe encompassed inside of a pre-calculus course, then you really want to be looking at getting a graphing calculator. But if you're in algebra, whatever you're in, get to know your calculator. There's a lot of different functions on there, and just because you have a calculator doesn't mean you're going to get everything right. I've seen students who just plug stuff in. They don't know how to operate their calculator. Okay, there's a lot of different things. Having a calculator is no substitute from knowing mathematics, especially when it comes to like order of operations, positive, negative numbers, powers. I could just go on and on, etc. But with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.